Hey, what's up? I'm still having computer problems. People want to help, they can. It looks like I may just end up having to, probably just pay someone to come over and figure out what's wrong. I pretty much exhausted all my options. I'm definitely tired of it. I'm tired of talking about it on these videos. I want to get back to doing the things you guys actually want to see. I'm sure you notice. Things have been pretty low-key lately. I haven't been doing much console videos. The reason for that is it keeps turning off. So today, I wanted to give you guys some recommendations. If you haven't been following what's going on, the Steam Winter Sales date has been leaked. It is going to be on the 18th. By the time you guys see this, it should be only 3 or 4 days away. I wanted to recommend some games that aren't super high profile. A lot of them aren't going to be on daily sales, flash sales, or community sales. A lot of these games, they don't sell too well. They don't have a whole lot of attention behind them, so the developers usually just give a huge bulk discount on day one and keep it like that. Which is a good thing if you actually know about the game. If you don't, it means that it's just gonna fall into obscurity. You're gonna buy all the big AAA stuff, and you're gonna miss out on some good under the radar stuff. So, first one here is Abyss Odyssey. I've played this game a little bit on this channel. It's not something I can do right now because of the computer screwing up, but it is a roguelike with Smash Brothers and Dark Souls combat. I've never played Dark Souls. Dark Souls is definitely not for me. I like the fast, stylish stuff, but the game has some similar qualities to that. It's very reflex-based punishing and stuff like that. The main problem with it is it's kind of clunky. All of your cancels are tied to a bar, and until you level up a couple times and you get all 3 of your cancel points, the game's pretty sluggish. You don't really have a whole lot of options. Your cancel points are your life and death in that game. Like, if you don't have cancel points, you're pretty much screwed. It is pretty fun. If you like something, if you like a roguelike that's not entirely dependent on RNG, if you like something with a little more skill involved, I really recommend it. It's kind of like Devil's Dare. The roguelike elements are pretty light. You do get some gold that you can use. Like, it's like a persistent gold collection that you have that you can use. So if you do terribly on a couple runs, you can buy a really broken weapon from the shop and pretty much steamroll through it. But that means you'll also won't be able to afford camp tokens, which help you to respawn. You can create checkpoints. It is pretty cool. It will probably be 50, if not 75% off during the sale, which would be $7.49 to $5. At that price, it's pretty good. It doesn't really have as much replay value as something like Isaac. I guess they kind of did that on purpose. They wanted to make it more actually balanced. The game was pretty clunky at launch. The turning speeds are really awkward. They fixed a lot of things since then. I definitely recommend it. It's just don't expect crazy synergies and builds and stuff like that. The main things that you can customize are the 3 special moves that you have at once, the upgrade points on there, and the weapon that you have, and the gear. But the gear obviously is from run to run. The weapons and the skills and stuff, or the weapons are run to on a single run basis, but the abilities are a pretty big deal. Ascendant is pretty cool. This is another action beat-em-up roguelike. It's not as in-depth as Abyss Odyssey. If you want something a little simpler, the moveset is really small in this game. However, it does have a lot of really cool synergies. Not as much as something like Isaac. That's why Isaac is like cream of the crop for roguelikes. A lot of the items can be terrible, but if you pair them up with something else, they're crazy good. This game kind of has that to a lesser extent. My main problem with this game is the bosses. The bosses are just really clunky. They're not very fun. They're big HP sponges. They have a lot of attacks. They're pretty scripted. Lots of huge invincibility times that just slow the game down. But other than that, it's pretty cool. It's just it's also a really long playthrough. After you beat it once, you get to this big end game dungeon that takes like a good 15-20 minutes to go through. So it's pretty frustrating. They will probably have it on sale for $5. I recommend it for that price. It's just don't come into it expecting to beat it. It's definitely a roguelike in terms of, one of those games you may never finish no matter how hard you try. I put 15 hours into it. I got all the way to the end boss and died. I haven't played it since. What else is there? Cloud Built is pretty cool. This game is built for speed. It's definitely a speedrunning game. As you know, I do speedruns kind of on the down low, not as much as other people. This game is pretty much designed for people who like going fast. They like creating their own routes. They like really solid platforming. It should be on sale for $5 if not cheaper. I recommend it. It's just don't buy it if you don't have a good graphics card. Before Apothecary 2 donated his graphics card to me, I had to play this game in below 480p. It was in a barely visible window because they're an indie developer and they don't have the money to optimize it. So I warn you with that. If you have a decent video card, it should be okay. Crimson Clover, I played this a lot over the summer. This is the best authentic shmup on Steam. There are a lot of ports like Ikaruga and stuff, but in terms of original ones, this is definitely one of my favorites. It's an actual Japanese arcade game. It was originally an indie game. It got an arcade release, and the Steam version is actually like a port of the arcade release. They have some extra features in there. It's really solid, really crushing difficulty. Just don't come into it expecting to finish it right away. If you want to do one credit clears, it's got a lot of replay value, but nothing like a roguelike. Or there is one unlockable ship, but that's about it. Danmaku Unlimited 2 is actually a Canadian-made shmup, which is something you could probably count on one hand. The developer is a really cool guy. You can tell he's actually played Japanese shmups. There are a lot of pretty cheap imitations on Steam that don't really have that, fine-tuning and balancing that you would expect from a Japanese shmup. But this guy has pretty much nailed it. The most unique thing about this game, as you may remember, it has a full upgrade system. You can basically make your own character build for your ship, which is very, very unique. I haven't heard of many games that do that, at least not recent ones. There's stuff like Tyrion from 20 years ago. It's not quite, the customization is not quite as deep as Tyrion. You can't customize your weapon and have a huge, crazy, personal loadout, but you can upgrade your firepower and stuff. It'll allow pretty much anybody to finish the game, which is pretty cool. This is going to be on sale for dirt cheap, probably $2-3. If you like shmups, I highly recommend it. It's like using vector graphics, so you should be able to run it on any fairly recent video card. Devil's Dare, I'm not going to go over this again. It's pretty good beat 'em up. Just don't expect crazy synergies like Binding of Isaac and stuff. The roguelike elements are pretty casual, I guess you could say. They are there, but they don't really define the game. They're actually going to be adding a patch within the next couple days that is going to fix one of my main complaints with the game, which is the dash canceling is really awkward. You have to wait until your attack is almost done to cancel. Jackson is pretty much the only one that I've played that can actually dash cancel, but they're going to add like a full dash cancel mechanic into the game, which will help to remove some of there's a lot of cheap hits in the game that you feel are not your fault. They're going to be removing that. I don't know how much it's going to be. It will probably be around $7 to $5. At that price, it's pretty good. Not a whole lot of content in the game. The main thing to do, if you don't have a bunch of real-life friends to play it with, is to just see the 4 end bosses. That will take you 4 playthroughs. Assuming that you don't die a bunch of times, if you actually get a handle on the game, which is pretty easy if you have any beat-em-up experience, it will probably take you 6 to 8 hours to see everything the game has to offer. So it's not quite like Castle Crashers. You can't dump like 40 hours into it, but I still recommend it regardless. Geometry Wars 3 Dimensions. I don't know if this is going to be on sale actually. I hear it's not selling too well. They might budge with like a 30% discount. If they do 30%, I would say probably go buy it. It's got a lot of content. It's got a full adventure mode. It has all the old modes from the original game. It's got pretty crushing difficulty, but a lot of value for your buck. So I recommend maybe just getting this full price. Guacamelee I've gone over before. This is definitely one of my sleeper hits of last year. Really great indie game. This is a enhanced edition. They added a new combat mechanic. They added a couple new areas. There are some new costumes, I believe. Well worth the money. I've given out several copies of it already, so if you missed out on that, I recommend getting it. It's a pretty beefy game for whatever they're going to be charging for. It's probably going to be under $10. I recommend it for that price. It's fun for a couple playthroughs. The game's so well designed. Even people who don't like playing Metroidvanias over and over, they might be able to get a couple playthroughs out of it. Jamestown is pretty good. Jamestown is probably my other top 3 best original shmup on Steam. The hitboxes are kind of big. It takes a little bit to get used to, but the mechanics are pretty unique. I don't know how much it's going to be on sale for, but the DLC is pretty good too. I recommend it. This game, I've gone over it before. It's like I don't know, it's kind of like a character action game with no padding. There are no long cutscenes, no dumb puzzles, no filler. It's just all action. You can finish the game in like an hour flat. It's not the best bang for your buck. They will probably have it on sale for under $5. I recommend it for that price. Even though it's a pretty small Japanese indie game, it doesn't really have a whole lot of bells and whistles. It does have a full New Game Plus mode. There's a bunch of moves you can unlock and upgrade, so it's worth it for that price. Onikira, I've already gone over. This game's in early access, but it's really solid. I would recommend buying it. I don't think they're going to have it for cheaper than $5, but you might want to buy it during the sale anyway. It's pretty good. They definitely need some more feedback, like I've said, so we'll see what happens with that game. But right now, they've got a really great foundation. I'm interested to see how far they're going to take it. Rainblood Chronicles Mirage, I covered this game a lot last year. I put about 40 hours into the game, which is pretty crazy considering it's like a $15 game. Really solid game. It takes a little while to get used to the kind of slower pace of it, but you can do some really cool stuff. There's a lot of tag combos. There's lots of moves you can unlock. The campaign's pretty long. It's got a couple modes. The problem with this game is the developer dropped support for it. There were a lot of bugs and glitches that are just plain never going to get fixed. It is currently impossible to finish the boss rush mode of this game and have it actually record your progress. It's also impossible to unlock all the achievements because they're bugged. So don't come into it if you're wanting to do those things. Otherwise, I highly recommend it. I have a full playlist. If you want to check the playlists on my channel for more footage, you can go back and do that if you want. Approaching the end here, Savant A Sense. This game's going to be on sale for $1. It's a really fun, pretty crushing difficulty twin stick shooter. Not a whole bunch of content, but for $1, it's got a pretty respectable amount. I really recommend it. The soundtrack's really cool. I really like the art style. Strider, if you don't have this already, the PC port's pretty good. They fixed a lot of problems since it came out. Pretty good port. It's a really great game that kind of went under the radar. A lot of people wrote it off because Double Helix was making it. Double Helix was well known for making a bunch of shitty movie tie-in games, but the people who came in to did this are the same people who did Killer Instinct, from what I understand. It was a completely different team. I think they did a pretty good job. Strider had been a dormant IP for about 15 years before this game came out. They pretty much kept the they kept the character in public light through you know, small cameos, like he was in Namco x Capcom. He was in most of the Marvel vs. Capcom games. It's pretty fun, Metroidvania. It's just I don't know, it doesn't have that much replay value. There's not really a whole lot of unlockables, but I highly recommend it. Definitely one of my sleeper hits of this year. Super House of Dead Ninjas, I've gone over a million times. Really great, fast-paced, lightning fast-paced roguelike. Definitely one of my favorite games of last year. I played the shit out of this game. I've done a million giveaways for it. Money's kind of tight. I might do a couple more giveaways for it. I'll keep you guys posted on that as the sale approaches. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Those are a bunch of underrated games that are going to be on sale on Steam. Like I said, the chances of those games being on a daily or community sale are pretty slim. I don't know what it is. If those games do appear in a community sale, they're probably going to not get voted on because they're indie games with no presence. A lot of times they have to go up against AAA juggernauts that almost always win. So I recommend you can put those games on your wish list right now. You can rewatch the video and pause it, get the title, and that will notify you if the price drops, or you can at least keep an eye on it during the sale. Anyway, I will see you guys tomorrow. I apologize for the filler. I'm having a bunch of computer problems still. I tried to record closers online and my computer turned off. I'm not too happy. That game also had no native controller support. I tried to run XPattern and it didn't work, so I guess it's GG for that game. I'll try and churn something out, but I can't guarantee anything. Anyway, I shall see you guys tomorrow. Peace.